this is the fun one. How do you make money? So what does games have to tell? I know games have a lot to say around freemium, a lot to say around pay to play. What did you learn about app economics as part of your experience?
So I learned the hard way. um, so I did a game called King of Bucks, and we thought, hey, we saw people just putting quarters into, Big Buck Hunter at arcades and bars and everything. We thought people will buy this because, why put quarters in when you can pay $5 and play it all the time you want? And then we were going to do updates and we're going to do great. So we put the game out. We did the first marketing campaign with our customer because it was branded. It broke our servers. The IT department thought we were under a denial of a service attack, and it was actually just customers coming to our website to download the app. And we went #1 that day. Like you said, we thought we were going to be buying Ferraris. We were like so excited, and within a week it started to decline. And so we went back to the partner and we said, hey, next month when you do your campaign, we should do this, and they went, what? You got your one marketing. We're not going to keep marketing this. We said once, we didn't plan our marketing right. The other thing we found out was it costs too much to create content. We tried to switch to a freemium model and people just played it for free. And so it was a really hard lesson. And so we had to figure out some of the things, all the stuff I talked about before, I learned because I failed. And so you really have to understand, it's like, what is your marketing campaign going to be? Do you have the money for that? Is it costing too much to create content? That's why I said create a system that can be reused, easy to use to make things up. And you may have heard these terms before. It's actually taken from the gambling industry. There's minnows, there's dolphins, and there are whales. And you want the whales. You need a little bit of the minnows to keep the things going. They'll buy the dollar things. And like I said, they'll do the apps, but you should never, what we learned when we went freemium is don't put a cap on what a user will give you. So if you see in games, you see these bundles, $5, $10, and then $100, $500, and people laugh, oh, they'll never spend it. They buy it. And, we got the analytics to prove it. It's like, oh my gosh, we sold this many $100 packets this week. And what we were hearing from the customers was, we love your game. Our whole family loves it. So for Christmas, we bought the $100 packs and gave it to everybody in the family. And so if we didn't have that $100 pack in there, we're capping how much they can give us. So let the people give you the money. Don't do it. And I think you have a story about AppWiz yourself.
Yeah, AppWiz. So I've got a variety. So, I mean, first off, definitely you want to have tiers, and you want to give your customer, your best customer, ways to pay you. And you want to have the freemium tier customers, which you want to lower that barrier to entry to be costing you as little as possible. And so in my previous startup, we had a fintech app that helped app developers in particular learn how well they were doing in the app stores. And we had small customers and we had big customers like Disney, Fox News, Comixology, Amazon. And what we learned is, these people would buy 1 or 2 licenses at, $50 a pop. And this was back when you sold desktop software. So this is a thing where they give you money and they get the app, and you do an update in a year and a half. So things have changed since then. But what was really interesting is we saw these big customers and we said, okay, we're making the same amount off these big customers as we are off the little guys. And so we introduced a site license when we did AppViz 2, and it was literally 10 times more expensive. And that site license, all the big customers just bought. They just bought it without even asking any questions, without complaining about the price. We basically doubled our revenue by just adding a higher tier to that release. And we didn't have to do anything else. That was very easy. It took us a day to do, and it doubled our revenue. So that is something, a really good example. You should have ways for these premium customers to pay you more money. If you're a user-based model, have that 10,000 plus user or unlimited, get the people who are worried, I don't really want to deal with adding users constantly in the management interface. Get them to give you a whole chunk of change so that they don't have to worry about it, and you will get some customers that will do that. So that's sort of the AppViz story. I think on the other side, it's really important. Your accountant, your CFO, is probably already telling you your business is an investment. And if you have investors, it's certainly an investment. They want to know what to do. If you don't understand how the financials of someone coming in and giving you money work with your business, that is fundamental. And as much as we want to focus on good products and on helping people improve their lives, you need to build the economic vehicle behind your application. And if you're not focused on a dollar comes in and it gets parceled out to get spent this way, and this is how we acquire customers, this is our LTV, this is our cost of customer acquisition, you need to know these things. If you don't, that is the number one priority for you as a business owner, is to figure these things out. Because until you know that, you don't know whether you can make money, whether you can scale the business. You might be going and trying to get that $2-3 million in capital, right? You might be working with lighter capital to do that. If you don't know how that money spend equates to the bottom line, it's not the right time to be bringing in capital. You need to figure that out first. So
another thing too is, in gaming, the big thing with analytics was trying to find the right customers. So we would do campaigns to help create the funnel to find the right people for your product. And we just keep refining that, because once you find that, if you do a shotgun approach, you're kind of wasting your money. But if you can zero it in on finding the right people, you're going to get a better return. So you'll hear a lot of times that, what is the cost for acquiring a user? And sometimes it's like $5. That's a lot of money. If you can get that down to 25 cents, the dollar, it's going to help you. So you do have to spend money to make money. And a lot of people don't. You still have marketing though. You still need a marketing department. You still need, they have to work with the analytics group to find those people. But because you got to keep the word going about your product, because once they stop, people are going to forget about it and move on. Like you said, they're now on the Squid Game. So it's like, where you got to keep that going. And that was very, very hard for a lot of people to understand. Even me, in the first time I gave you that example, you got that marketing push, boom, it's huge. And then if it's not there, constantly doing it, you lose it. You're not getting your word out.
Yeah,
So.
with social networks, we've seen costs of acquisition for certain cohorts, certain age ranges, for example, hit as much as $50 per customer acquisition. So if you're trying to get a 19-year-old onto a dating app, 20-year-old college person onto a dating app, you are fishing a sea that everyone else and well-entrenched competition is already fishing. And so they can drive your cost of acquisition up. So you need to know, here's the cost of acquisition. This is what I can spend. This is my customer. This is my lifetime value that the customer is willing to deliver. And so that you can really hone in on your spend, because otherwise you can waste, like you said, Chip, a lot of money to acquire users that aren't going to stick around, that are going to, I promise you, Netflix is spending more for your demographic than you are capable of, right? And so you really need to hone it in and use your money and your capital efficiently. And if you're not a person who thinks about your business in terms of capital and efficiencies, get a finance person that can help you. I can't stress that enough. Very, very important you understand what the gross profit margin for any individual type of customer is, because you'll learn as soon as you get that report, oh man, we've been spending half of our money on customers that don't return value.
One thing when you said Netflix, so this is something we learned too, is if you can get somebody to do a subscription, on average, it takes somebody 3 months to cancel a subscription. So to give you a real life example, in 2020, we got Disney Plus to watch Hamilton on the 4th of July. We only were going to do it for that 1 month. I'm still paying for it because I forgot about it. So look how much money they got out of me because I forgot to cancel. And now there's apps coming out to remind you to cancel these things because people don't remember. So just that's a big
It
thing.
works. They forgetting about your app can work both directions. It can be
Yeah.
double-edged sword. They forget your app exists, but they're still paying you. I'd
Yep.
say that's the right side of the equation to be on.